Well, Debbie, how many years have you been carrying the load?
So I, as a participant, was at the very first Carry the Load. Just happened to be in Dallas and was marching, carrying my son, just pure at heart. And I think we've been a nonprofit partner or beneficiary for the last 4 years. So this is our fourth year as a foundation officially to be connected. But I've been there since the very first March. I think I may have missed a year or two in the cycle there. We take Gold Star families on Memorial Day to a retreat in East Texas. So this year we coordinated with it and gave them the option if they wanted to come in early and do Carry the Load. We got hotels in Dallas. And so we've got about 40 of the 75 family members that will be joining us in Dallas, marching with us, and then we will take them on a bus out to East Texas for the retreat that we do for them.
And so for 10 years now, you're carrying your son. Explain Mark.
I think, obviously, as a parent, the toughest thing that you could go through is the loss of your child. I've been a widow for 27 years. I've lost my husband, but I can tell you the hardest thing you can ever endure is losing your kid. No one should ever have to go through that. And to see Mark's name today, I haven't been over here because of COVID for over a year and a half, and to see his name on that headstone, when we go to monuments and his name's on a memorial wall honoring him, or in a movie or in books, it's so bizarre. That's not normal, to see that. But when we have men and women who did what Mark did, their stories need to be told. He stood out in the direct line of fire 3 times that day, willingly gave his life to save his teammates. And there's nothing more noble or honorable than that. And every day, it's not just Memorial Day that I carry that load, but there's been so many people that have come alongside to help carry that load, so you're not carrying it alone. And so many of Mark's teammates are the ones that wrote the books that are telling his story, the movies that Mark's told in. And that's one of the things that our foundation at America's Mighty Warriors, we're out there supporting our troops, our veterans, our other Gold Star families to help carry their load and lighten their load, for what they've made. Obviously at May, we're talking about those who fell in combat, who gave their lives in the battlefields. But the sacrifice that's made, you look around here, the cemetery, the headstones, that's the price of freedom. That's what the cost for those freedoms that we enjoy every day. And most Americans take that for granted and don't realize that price. We remember every single day that Mark's not at our dinner table, Mark's not at our gatherings. I can't pick up the phone and call him. I'm hoping one day technology will be that way in heaven, but kind of thinking not. But anyway, I look forward to that day when I do get to see him again.
Debbie, just like we were saying, is that you have gone through this for 14 years and you've come to his headstone several times, but it doesn't get any easier every time you come.
I think, people often want to say, well, when did you feel like you got over it? How do I get over it? I carried Mark in my womb. I nursed him at my breast. Do I just pretend he didn't happen? You learn ways to cope, you learn ways to manage the grief, but you don't ever get over it, and I've done lots of reading on grief. They say there's 7 stages to grief. Yeah, I don't know who wrote that book, but I don't think they ever lost anybody, because not everybody goes through theirs, and sometimes there's more than that, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. You just have to not get stuck. You have to continue to process through that. You can't go over it, around it. You got to go through it to get to the healthier side. And I do think there's a healthier side of grief.
And I think probably it's just as well as honoring him as one of the stages and one of the ways to grieve, but to help move forward.
Yeah, and I think now, obviously it was a teary moment, being here today, having not been here for a year and a half, but the majority of the time, it's funny things we remember about Mark. We remember his crazy sense of humor. We remember when the guys talk about the hostage rescue where they, got the son of a sheikh, and Mark went through these lines in the movie, we're not Navy SEALs, you can't know that we're here or something, and he's quoting this after they've just done this hostage rescue for this kid from Iraq who's like, what are you talking about? But, those are the things we remember of Mark. This headstone represents where we placed his body, but he's not here. That young man was redeployed to heaven, and I will see him again one day.
How important is it to be able to carry the load? And for those that walk with you, but those who see these flags And yes, on Memorial Day is when we kind of stop and honor, not kind of, we do hopefully stop and
Yes.
honor our fallen. But I think the main thing here is that it shouldn't always just be on Memorial Day.
Yes, people need to remember every morning when they wake up, be grateful that we live in America. Be grateful for the freedoms that we do enjoy, but then remember the sacrifice that was paid to do that. And I autograph my books, Live Your Life Worthy of Their Sacrifice. And I think that's something everybody did that every day. I don't know that you can ever completely live a life worthy of that, giving up his final breath that Mark did, but we can sure try. We can try to do all we can to honor them, to take care of them, to make sure their families are taken care of, and that we teach our children, we teach those in our sphere of influence. And it doesn't matter what aisle politically you're on, these people who gave their lives gave it for every American.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Debbie?
Just check us out at America's Mighty Warriors and see what we do for our troops. If you need help, we're here. And our other Gold Star families, we just want to let them know that on Memorial Day especially, we remember their fallen hero as well.
Thank you so much.